Here you go, Sally.
Oh, thanks, Granny.
Oh, is that yellow fever?
Yeah, it is. I have a project for Miss
I'm
Freed.
sorry, can you speak a little louder? I can't hear you.
I have a project for Miss Freed's anatomy class.
Oh, I have just the book for you. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
You see this man here?
Who is that?
It's Bartholomew Zachariah, your great-great-great-grandfather. He died of yellow fever. The year was 1793.
Oh, I read about that. Was that the yellow fever epidemic in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania?
Indeed, it was. He had just moved there in August of that year with your great-great-great-grandmother and his newborn daughter. Since it was summer, there were tons of mosquitoes flying around. From what my grandmother would tell me, he would get bit by so many mosquitoes, his blood might as well have been made out of sugar water. And sadly, the yellow fever virus is an RNA virus that belongs to the genus Flavivirus and is generally spread through infected Aedes and Haemimagus mosquitoes.
Okay. So, if they knew it was from mosquitoes, why didn't they do anything about it?
Ah, that's the thing. They didn't know that it came from mosquitoes until the early 1900s.
So how did the mosquitoes transmit the virus?
Well, it all started with one unlucky monkey. That infected monkey is bitten by a mosquito where the virus accumulates in its salivary glands. Then the newly infected mosquito transfers the virus to another monkey by biting it. That process continues on until a person travels through the jungle and gets infected. That person would then bring the virus back to civilization with them, and that's how an epidemic begins.
Wow, do you know what happens to a person's cell when they get bitten?
Of course I do, dearie. I didn't get that bio degree for nothing. So when the mosquito bites a person, its infected saliva transmits the virus into their bloodstream. Then, the virus grows inside the host cell where components of the immune system can't reach them. The virus can also gain access to the cells because they have attachment sites for receptors on their target cells.
So what else happens to the body when you get yellow fever?
Well, the symptoms typically show up within 3 to 6 days. The initial symptoms include fever, chills, headache, back pain, general body aches, nausea, vomiting, fatigue, and weakness. Your great-great-great-grandfather was one of the unlucky 15% that developed a more severe case called the toxic phase. Bartholomew, like others who developed this case, had symptoms of high fever, jaundice, bleeding, and eventually shock and failure of multiple organs.
Darn that yellow
Typically,
plague.
20 to 50% of the people that suffered through this phase die.
Yellow Jack, not me too.
Like your great-great-great-grandfather.
Bronze.
John, why?
So how did they know who had the yellow fever and who didn't?
Well, there was really no way to tell if you had the disease or not. They just assumed that you did if you showed some of the symptoms. But now, with the advancement of technology, we can tell if you have yellow fever through blood tests.
Oh, now they have a vaccine for it. That's why no one gets it anymore, right?
Yes. It's a shame that your grandpappy's friend, Max Spieler, wasn't born when the epidemic broke out. With a little help from his vaccine and some bug spray, your great-great-great-grandfather could have avoided the nasty virus. Instead, he was forced to do all these strange remedies to relieve some of the pain.
What kind of remedies were they?
Well,
He had to do things like take doses of ipecacuanha to induce vomiting, swallow castor oil, and enemas of cold water with turpentine in it.
Yeesh, that sounds terrible.
I'm sure it was. And it didn't even cure it, it only relieved some of the symptoms. Nowadays, we can relieve the symptoms with some help with medicine and painkillers like aspirin and ibuprofen to lower your temperature.
Wait, so there's still no cure for it even today?
That's right, but we have many ways to help prevent it, like vaccinations and bug spray.
Oh, you're right. I remember reading about yellow fever outbreaks in other parts of the world, like Brazil and Africa.
Precisely! These are the countries where the virus originates. And it also happened in Memphis, and that is where your great-great-great-grandfather was.
Wow. Is it already 6 o'clock?
Oh my! I have to go to bingo and play with my gals. You see, your grandma over here has a winning streak.
Oh, well, good luck, Grandma. See you next
Thanks.
Saturday.
See you, dearie.